But yes, quick introductions. So we have our guest here, Danielle. How do you pronounce your last name? Is it Maya?
Maya.
Maya. So yes, so representing the company Cellux out of Brazil that makes adhesive tape, all kinds of tapes, duct tape, scotch tape, packing tape.
Oh, I think we lost him.
It froze.
Yeah, he froze. Okay, I'll pick it up. Hi, Maya. What is your Daniela? I'm sorry that I came on a little late. I'm Dr. Leilani Balmanis. I'm actually a professor at Lynn University in Boca Raton, Florida, and I help Dr. Voss with X-Culture predominantly. I'm also the director of X-Culture Academy, which is for our under 18 students, and then X-Culture Professionals, which is for our business professionals not at the university. Dr. Taraz manages the one where all the university students participate. And then of course we also have, what else do we have? The Global Business Week, which is the symposium that we run every year in the summertime, where we invite the best X-Culture students from all the organizations to join us to a university, a host university. This summer we'll be going to somewhere in Eastern Europe. So we're looking at Kosovo, we're looking at Poland, we have Greece, Czech Republic, and Austria. 5 universities who are interviewing as a host university for 200 of our best X-Culture students. So when we say to you, Daniela, that you will be assisted by some of the best students, you will be. And we actually invite those best students to come and join us at Global Business Week. And you're invited too, by the way. If you'd like to come
Thank you.
as a client company, you're automatically invited.
That's great.
Yeah. So Voss, we lost you for a minute. So I introduced
my connection keeps disconnecting. So I'll turn the microphone to you, and I see both Enrique and Daniela here. So all yours now.
Yeah. So Enrique, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Enrique. I am the international sales representative at Selux. Me and Dani, we were in charge of the whole X-Culture process. So yeah, I'm really excited to get this going. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. I don't know if you want me to tell a little bit about my personal story as well, or
well, of course, but we do have a list of questions that we'd like to ask you. So maybe you can, like, intertwine some of your stories into those.
Sure.
Perfect.
Do you like to be called Daniela or Dani?
You can call me Danny.
Okay, Dani. Okay, so if you could please tell us a little bit about your company. Dr. Voss has introduced the company, but in detail, what is it that you guys manufacture? Do you provide services? How old is the company? So just a little historical background.
So Selux, we are from Selux, Brazil, but we have Selux USA, which it's a project that is on hold since the pandemic. But the company itself is over 100 years old. Selux Group. Yes, it started out with the Chinese factory called Qingtung. They used to make packing tapes, the normal transparent one, like Scotch tape, and it grew. And we currently have Selux Taiwan, which is our main office. We have 2 manufacturing plants there, 2 manufacturing plants in China. We have a converting branch in Colombia, a converting branch in Brazil, and a sales office in India. And we have the company in the USA, but it's not active yet. We have the company itself, but we don't have anything.
So you're truly a global company.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And the fun part is that each branch is in a different part of the internationalization process. So it's nice to have all of this experience. for example, China and Taiwan, they already are manufacturing plants. They already export. They're consolidated in the market. They sell to big big name tapes like 3M, Scapa, CKG, and so they are very consolidated and very well respected. In Colombia, it's over 30 years old already, and they already sell to retailers. They're already marketing the brand name. They export to the Caribbean. In Brazil, we are only 5 years old, but we are already converting branches. So we have machines where we buy the big rolls from the factory, and we're transforming smaller rolls that we can sell to our customers, which currently is only B2B in Brazil.
Ah, okay. So you're a B2B company.
Yes.
Now, do you work as a global organization, or do you work independently from your other subsidiaries or your branches?
We work globally because we also we only import from our on group. And we have marketing and business strategy that's related to the group itself. So sometimes it's not the best situation for Brazil, but it's the best situation for China or for Taiwan or for Colombia or vice versa. And we make decisions together. Basically, they make the decisions and we apply them.
So it is a very centralized organization. And your directives come from which part of the world? Taiwan. Okay. So the parent company is in Taiwan.
Yes, it's Cellux Taiwan.
Okay, and they have branches, China, Colombia, Brazil, something in the United States not operational yet. Anywhere else in the world?
India.
And India. And they also sell in India, or they only provide services?
They also sell in India. Okay. It's a sales office. They work with importing and exporting.
Right. Okay. So
it's
you've
still in
got
the beginning.
5 markets already.
Yes.
Right? So students do not go to those 5 markets because they're already there. So the idea is something else, right? Okay.
Yes.
So and you only
talking about these 5 areas, the US is just started. We have the company there legally, but it's actually our main goal is to make this project to be for the American market.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So basically you have the paperwork in.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have nothing else.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So now we're talking.
Yeah.
You guys have some American students here that will teach you about, how business is done over here.
That's
And
great.
it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool because, we always teach our students to go work in another country, and it's a lot of research for them because they don't know. But what your challenge is looking for is actually like, how do we become more present in your market?
Yes.
And they are, they're let's just say a landmine of information, right? A lot of things that they can share. Okay, so so you only sell the adhesive products?
Yes. We
Okay,
only sell adhesive tapes. But the fun part about adhesive tapes is that all segments need them. All industry needs them. At least they need the packing tape, because if you're going to sell a product, you need to pack it.
Yes.
So we actually call it our commodity tape.
Yeah.
Because it's everywhere.
Absolutely. And especially since today, Amazon and what is the Japanese, or I'm sorry, the Chinese equivalent, Rafael, I can't remember.
Shopee?
They're the equivalent
Alibaba.
of Amazon. Alibaba, who is, by the way, one of our client companies.
Oh.
When they came to market, I mean, it really changed the way that people purchase goods.
Yes.
And today everybody has boxes that's, delivered to their house almost daily. I know I do in my house. I don't even go to the store anymore. Miami traffic, it's just not feasible. So who are your actual main competitors, the industry competitors?
That's the fun part too. We also sell a lot to our competitors as a private label. Yes.
And who are
Excuse me?
who are your competitors / customers?
We have 3M, especially in the part of electrical tape. Scapa, I don't know if you know that one, but it's a very, very big adhesive tapes company. We have Kramer, which is located in Brazil, but it's international. They sell internationally for hospital products and for shoemaking products for tapes specifically for shoemaking, like double-sided tapes. We have the big competitors really are the smaller factories in China that are imported by companies like Alibaba, for example. So if you put on Google adhesive tapes, we have a different all kinds of factories that you can find, but their proposal is different than ours. Our proposal is to have a more of a quality product. We have all kinds of certification that you can find, so we can be used in industry. For industry use, there needs to be some specific kind of certifications. For example, automotive industry. We have specific tapes used for that kind of industry, and they have specific certificates that we have to have so they can sell it. Shoemaking industry, they have to have some specific certifications that we also have. So our business plan has always been to work with quality products and to sell to the industry. Not always directly to the industry. Most times we sell to distributors or partners that buy big rolls or even smaller rolls, but with a high volume, and they sell to the industry as they have other products that they already sell.
I have a question.
Yes.
You told that you want to expand to America, right?
Yes.
Which products do you want to put that in that market? All that you have in Cellux, or there are specific products that you want to sell there?
We put in the document the best sellers that we have and the products that would be easier to start with, because we already have the experience with them, and we know that these products are more, they have more demand.
Yes.
Yeah. And also talking about that, the OPP, the regular transparent sealing tape will be probably a huge product, and it's also really good to open new opportunities. So for example, Danny talked about the automotive industry. They use a lot of the double-sided tissue tape, which is a very technical kind of tape. So it's really important for their process. But as it's like a new company reaching out to them, they may be a little hesitant to buy the double-sided tissue. So what's potentially can happen is they buy the OPP because it's a general tape, they make testings, and then they see, yeah, that's a good quality product. So let's go ahead and also give a chance to the double-sided tissue. So I think the OPP, it's great to open new opportunities. Okay. And something I think it's worth mentioning is that we also have good engineers that they are willing to kind of adapt existing tapes to, I don't know, let's say one client asks, oh, we need this tape to be a little stronger, or we need this to be a little something different. We are willing to make these adjustments or even create brand new tapes. That's also something doable. If you guys, I don't know, even happen to talk to a client, they're going to say, I need this specific tape that is not in our portfolio, but we see there's a huge demand for that. That's okay. We are going to think about adding that to our portfolio as well. One
of our competitive advantages that we also produce the adhesive. So what's common in the adhesive tapes industry is that they have companies that only make adhesive, like Yanchu and other companies, and they have companies that make the film. The adhesive tapes company only put those two together. They buy the adhesive, buy the film, coat, and sell. In our case, one of our plants, the one in Taiwan, they produce adhesive. So we are able to modify it according to what the application needs to be. So we have 3 production engineers that used to work in 3M. And what we do a lot here in Brazil and in other countries is that we talk to clients, they have a specific tape that they buy at a high cost. We get the sample sent to our factory, and we can produce a similar tape for the similar application with a lower cost. But usually, as Henrique said, our main entry mode into a company is the OPP packing tape. So they can check how our service is, how our logistic is, that we are reliable as a supplier. And another thing that is a positive point for us is that as we control from the adhesive manufacturing until the tape manufacturing, our quality is very good. There's no oscillating quality between lots, which is common in adhesive tapes. So because we have the thickness of the adhesive and the thickness of the film, sometimes the way it's coated, you use one supplier for one thing, another supplier for the other, and the tape quality ends varying between lots. In our case, that's not a common issue. And we actually hardly ever have quality issues. And when we do have a very good service in helping our customers, because we always think long-term, we want partners. So I think that's one of our advantages.
That's excellent. Okay, so let me just recap for the students. Entering the US market.
Yes.
Your competitive advantage is quality. And as you know, American consumers are very selective in terms of quality, right? Anytime that I've ever gone to India or to China to check on products, the #1 complaint is always quality. And I like what you said, that you can actually control the quality because you yourselves provide the materials to produce your products, and you don't have to depend on your suppliers, for example, to provide you the quality that you need to produce your product. So it's the input.
And one more thing, as we control all the products, we can make exceptions and develop tapes. We are very strong in the development. So if there is a good demand, or it's a customer that we think has a good potential, we make exceptions for pilot orders, smaller MOQs. We can do a lot of things as it's on one company, and we are very dynamic. We're not very bureaucratic. And we are always communicating. So we know what we want, and we can figure it out how to go.
In production language, they call that agile, right?
Yes, exactly.
Agile company.
Yes.
So I have a question in regards to your partnership with 3M. And as you know, 3M is one of our global brand coming from America that is historically been one of our strongest companies. How strong is that relationship? And is that an avenue that you want to pursue and perhaps grow and maybe become a feeder for their product? Okay.
Yes, definitely. We sell currently a specific electrical tape for them, and some other tapes that are very technical that I'm not sure which ones they are, because it's from the Cellux Taiwan. They control that part. But definitely here in Brazil, we've visited 3M and talked about expanding business, but they are a huge company, and for us from Brazil, it's very hard. For them, they from Taiwan, it's easier.
So, but do you want more companies like 3M, or do you want to grow your relationship with 3M, or what?
We want more companies like them. And we want you guys to tell us what would be the greatest entry mode in different stages. For example, at first, would it be direct importation? What companies would be open to that? Are our prices viable?
Mhm.
And for a second stage where we get we put in a little bit more investment, should we have a joint venture? Can we open a local business? Do we have partner distribution? Do we have the quality of the products that they use? What are the main players doing? Can we do the same things? What are the costs?
Mhm.
When will each stage be done? So we
Mhm.
want some information so we can make a long-term strategy to
Mhm.
internationalize in the US market.
Mhm. And what's beautiful about this is you are just at the entry. You've
Yes.
already entered the market, right? So now probably what you are looking for is building relationships
Yes.
with specific industries. So especially, I mean, really entering the market is the challenge, right? But now that that foundation is laid, now building those relationships with industries, that's going to be the hat trick. Right?
Yes.
Those are the challenges that you'll experience. Now, do you do your own promotional strategy, or do you guys hire an external company to do that for you?
We do our own. Usually the products speak from themselves. We have a lot of people come to us, but we usually approach clients by ourselves. We have places where we can find leads. And the adhesive tape industry is not so big, so it's easier to start talking with one, then get another recommendation, and so on.
Right. Do you have a team from your company in the United States currently, or do you have?
Not yet. We have Henrique. So they decided to ask us from Brazil to head this project because of the time zone. And because we did a similar job here in Brazil. We started out 5 years ago and started from scratch. So we would be following the same strategy that we used in Brazil. We started out only as a sales office. We imported from our factory in Colombia because there are some importation benefits. And that's one of the things that we could use when exporting to the USA, for example. We have a factory in Colombia. We can have the exportation benefits that they have.
Right. Yeah. And the it's a 3-hour flight.
Yes.
We have a bilateral agreement with Colombia.
Exactly.
So that's the other thing to think about, students, is what is our bilateral agreement looking like between the countries that we're importing and exporting from?
Yes.
Because we have to look at the tariff and also the currency fluctuation, because that impacts your pricing.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's talk about this pricing.
Yes. So the best ideal thing would be to manufacture them in China because labor costs there are lower. But currently, the barrier to China is huge. It's over 100% of anti-dumping. So and I don't think US and China relations will
not be good.
So we can, with the bilateral agreements, I know that we have with Brazil and the US and Colombia with the US, which would work best, especially regarding logistics costs, because freight rates are very high currently.
Through the roof, especially with fuel prices and also with tariffs.
Exactly. And so what would be the best logistic route to go? China, Colombia, and then Colombia, USA, China, Brazil, Brazil, USA, Taiwan. So we need to check these things because freight rates are one of the things that impact our products the most.
Right. However, I mean, because you still use in-house suppliers, Colombia and Brazil will still need to export raw products, or not necessarily raw, but products that will supply the finished good, right? Coming out of either China or Taiwan. It still needs to be freighted over to Brazil or Colombia, which is an added cost because freight rates are through the roof. However, probably the one big advantage is the bilateral trade agreements
Yes.
between the United States and those two exporting countries. So, and Enrique, how do you say your name again? I'm sorry.
In Portuguese is Henrique, but I lived in the US for almost 5 years, and then they just call me Henry.
Henry, or I kind of like Enrique, you know.
That's fine. That's fine. You can call me.
You know, I'm in Miami, so in Miami, you're Enrique.
No, that's fine too. Yeah.
Okay, so for you being our marketing contact, what are some of the challenges that you foresee in reaching your customers? And what kind of promotional challenges do you foresee in growing the American market?
Yeah, so the main goal for us to get leads is probably understanding who are the companies that will have a big demand for our tapes. As I said, we have a few different tapes, a few different industries that we can approach to. And for now, as Dani said, we have good referral sources and we do our own marketing. So we are not used to investing a lot on marketing in general, or even investing a lot of money on getting like new leads. So one of our ideas so far is trying to, there are a few companies that they do like they get the bill of lading from shipments, imports and exports, and then we can filter by the HS code and check which companies are buying adhesive tape. So that's one of the ways we found. It can be a little pricey sometimes. So that's one of the questions that we added to the official proposal. Is there any way to find new leads? Is there any kind of cheap or even free ways to advertise our products to a B2C, B2B, a B2B scenario there?
So let me explain the HS code mentality, because some of my students are probably like, what? Okay. So guys, the HS code is actually the tariff code that countries use to identify how much of that product will be taxed, right? It usually comes off as a percentage. So what Enrique is saying is that once they can collect all of the importers or the users of that product based on the HS code, then they can differentiate what companies are buying those products, and then they can go after them.
Yep.
That's what you're saying, correct,
Yes.
Enrique?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. And then also you're saying that really what you want to identify are the B2B, business to business markets that are open in the United States. I have another suggestion for you, Enrique, and because I'm in Miami, I have a lot of access to Department of Commerce opportunities, and they actually have, through the Department of Commerce, they actually have trade conferences. Here in Miami, we call them free trade zone conferences, right? Where you can actually show to other companies your adhesive. Also, a lot of those conventions actually happen like Las Vegas, like Las Vegas, because they have the venues for these trade conferences. That's another opportunity for you to meet other businesses looking to sell or buy those products. In case you didn't already know, but the two locations probably are Vegas and Miami.
Okay. No, yeah, that's definitely what we are looking for. These like small things that can make a huge impact in our sales. So yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go back to your interview questions, because they need this for their project, right?
Sure.
What is your current pricing strategy?
Currently, we try to enter companies with packaging tape.
Mhm.
And when they know that our product is good and the service is reliable,
Mhm.
we talk to the buyer. We already have their contact, and we make a specialized proposal with what we think they would it could help their production process, or they sometimes they already use the tapes and we offer ours and we start going from there.
Yeah, but where's your price point at? Are you, I mean, in a point of elasticity, right? You have a floor, you have a ceiling, and then somewhere in between is usually where you want to be. Where are you in comparison to industry? Are you below? Are you above? Are you competitive?
We're competitive. Sometimes we're a little above. It depends of what is the industry and what is the tape. For
Mhm.
example, for industries specifically, we are below. So we are cheaper than usual, the tapes that they usually use, the big brand name tapes.
Mhm.
For wholesalers and bigger volume, we are competitive.
Mhm.
But the fact that we have our quality, it helps a lot, because companies usually don't mind paying a lot for adhesive tapes, because it's just a small part of the whole products that they use. And the
Right.
problems that they can have when their packaging has a problem, or when their material unsticks, is huge. It's much bigger than the
Exactly.
yes.
It's like buying a pair of shoes that are beautiful with great leather, and the soles are perfect for your, it's comfortable, and then all of a sudden the
The
adhesive,
heels, yes,
and then you got to go pay $30 to get it repaired because they didn't
exactly.
use the right tape. I actually go to Latin America to buy my shoes because of that reason. Your
Yes.
adhesive is probably in my shoes.
Oh, it's definitely, because in Brazil specifically,
Yeah.
one of our greatest best sellers is the tapes for the shoemaking industry,
Yeah,
especially leather.
My favorite is Bombonita out of Colombia. Do you sell
Oh,
to?
it's in Colombia, see?
Yeah. So are they one of your customers?
No, I don't know. Selux Colombia, this is the one I
Go
know.
after Bombonita. They have great shoes.
I'll let them know.
Okay. So now, were you guys affected by COVID at all?
Yes, a lot.
Yeah.
Especially the US project. It started 4 years ago. Our CEO, the owner of the company, is Mr. Cal. He's adorable. He's really nice.
Mhm.
And he went to Chicago, opened the company there. He was living there, and then he had to go to Taiwan, back to Taiwan, because of COVID.
Mhm.
In Brazil, we also had a situation, a time where we had to give vacation to everybody
Mhm.
for 3 weeks, because our town was completely locked down.
Yeah.
But now everything is going well, going better.
Mhm. Mhm. So, and I'm going through so Dr. Taraz gave me a list of questions that I have to
Okay.
ask you, but we've already answered so many of them in our conversation. So
Yes.
trying to skip through those, so looking at, again, our students, our initiative here is to grow the American market. Where
Yes.
do you want to be? And Enrique, this is where, because this is your baby, right, Enrique? Where do you
Yeah.
want to be 5 years from now in the American market?
So we made a quick research. We understood that the Great Lakes area, that means like Ohio, Michigan, they have a huge automotive industry, which is one of our best clients. So I don't know, we are open to ideas. If that's not the market that students find demand, that's super fine. But this is one area that is kind of promising in our perspective, because we are used to selling to this type of industries. But there is also like shoemaking, furniture, electronics, all kinds of industries and tapes we can talk about. But I would kind of prioritize the Ohio and Michigan area, which is where I lived, but it's just a coincidence there.
So really looking for industries in the United States that's strong, right? And that has a need for your quality products is the
Yes.
strategy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know, the United States is not a huge manufacturing country. However, we do manufacture, when we do manufacture, it's high quality. So there's a partnership, equality in there that our industries would require something of quality from an organization like yours. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay,
Yeah.
so and then the other question is, are you guys willing to grow the American market with, I guess, Enrique, would you be willing to hire a staff to help you grow this market? Would you hire them from X-Culture, from students who graduated from our program? And what is kind of your pay model when it comes to doing that?
For this part, I mean, we are definitely willing to grow and discuss about hiring. If everything goes right, which I think I'm pretty sure it will, we'll need to have a bigger staff. So we're gonna hire people doing it from like students from X-Culture. That's super fine. The paying situation, I think that Danny will be the best one to talk about that.
Yeah.
So two things.
Yes.
About where we want to be in 5 years.
Yes.
It's basically where we are in Brazil. We started out only with exporting at first, and we didn't have an office. And then we had a sales office. And then after we brought machines, and we are our converting branch. So that's where we are now. In the future, we want to be a manufacturing branch, but it's a long way still, especially because now Brazilian market is in a recession, so it's very hard. But for the USA market, we want in 5 years to be where we are now, at least a converting branch. We want to hire staff. We are very open to hiring people, and the payment model would be, it could be two ways. We could have a salary plus commission, or only commission depending on the percentages, and it would pay directly from Selux Taiwan.
Yeah. So and it sounds like it would be two, possibly three divisions that actually needs to support this American market, right? Because you're talking about growing the market in the United States, but production is going to originate from Brazil or Colombia, which would require you guys to grow in both those countries.
Yes.
By the way, we have Brazilian and Colombian students that are
that's
doing
great.
the project. Yes, so they will learn about you. But then also we have a lot of American students that are, you know, here in the United States. And as they learn about your organization, you know, they could potentially get you clients.
Yes.
And I mean, Enrique, you might even think about putting together a team of interns. You know, I mean, I know you're in Brazil right now, but to have some bodies on the ground, an internship is also possible for you through X-Culture.
Yeah, and I think that will bring a huge credibility as well for the company, because if you think in our client's perspective, we're like a new brand entering the American market. So they may be a little suspicious, but if we say, hey, we have people working in the US, or like we have this amount of people in our staff, that's a different situation. So this is something that we're definitely going to think about.
Yeah, we can talk about that on the side.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Selux is very interested in this project. So if anybody has any questions, we can make her WhatsApps available, make her emails available, Skype.
Oh, thank
Also,
you.
our CEO, Mr. Carl, if it needs, when he's in the US, he can meet people and talk as well.
Actually,
and we are very open.
So just as a heads up, we are actually going to Eastern Europe in 2023. However, in 2024, we will be in Chiang Rai in Thailand. And we are actually looking for companies to come and speak to us. And Taiwan to Thailand is not a long
It's
flight.
easier,
right?
yes.
Yeah, it's much easier than coming to the United States. So we'll
Let's
talk
make it
when we
work.
get to that point.
Yes.
So we have some student questions, and
Sure.
Rafael, could you just read them off?
Yes, actually, we don't have yet. I just sent a message to them. So if they have
okay.
any questions, feel free to type in the chat or Q&A session, please.
Yeah. And so what's going to happen, Dani and Enrique, as students actually pose questions, we will have one of the coaches send you
Sure.
the questions, and then you can answer directly. Also, if need be, we can host another webinar if you guys have the time,
Yes.
if enough questions are posed. And also, if you're really looking for interns to have on ground in the United States, that's something that we are very happy to help you build. It's something that we do all the time. We are actually speaking with UPS right now about the very same thing. So we are an organization that can very easily support this endeavor. Yeah,
That would be great.
yeah. Anybody, any questions, Rafael?
Actually, I have a question.
Okay.
Why do you guys want to sell to America right now?
Because it's a very big market and adhesive tape industry. Not only the industry specifically, but wholesalers and the general use. So we are taking long term. At first, we are thinking about industries, but in the future, we want to make our brand name for end consumers and things like that. It started out as Mr. Cow's project, and now he shared it with us. So we are excited, but we are also open to any market that you think has a good opportunity. So it doesn't need to be only USA. That's our focus. We would appreciate the help and the support. But if you find any other a market that you think, well, that could work, that's a good opportunity, we are open to it,
Right.
because we want to expand the group.
Yeah. So one of the things that you might want to think about, Dani, is being a distributor to a company like Home Depot.
Yes.
And the reason, and Home Depot, by the way, was one of our client companies as well. We actually were invited to go to their main headquarters in Atlanta a few years back. And the reason I think that someone like Home Depot would be ideal is the people in the Caribbean, they don't, and you don't want to open a facility in the Caribbean because the market is not there to support it. However, because of that, a lot of their companies, you know, the B2B, they go to Home Depot to
Okay.
acquire all of their resources to then go back home and supply their shoe industry, their construction industry. And it's through the Home Depot. And I think they have like a B2B relationship with those customers in the Caribbean. So that's another market to look at, only because the model is so
Similar.
yeah, exactly.
No, that's a great suggestion.
Rafael, do we have any more questions before we let them go? We have 2 minutes.
No, we don't. Probably because the interview was well conducted and the speakers were well spoken. So I think that question was already answered.
So do you guys have any other requests from us and our 6,000? We have 6,000 students currently that's going to be working on these projects. So
yes, help with how to price the items if we were to sell domestically. So currently we know how to price if it's an export, but if we were to have a local partnership or open a sales office, or even give an Incoterm like DDP, we would need help knowing what taxes to add, what are the tariffs, logistic costs, and things like that.
Okay, and so let me just clear that up for our students who are probably not familiar with the term Incoterms, right? So Incoterms is actually created by the Department of Trade, and it's for the purpose of identifying specific costs by everybody who is in the supply chain, right? Whether it's the tariff or the shipping and other little minor pricing that then eventually make up this whole great big price. right? So in identifying the Incoterms, you really need to identify who are the stakeholders in the supply chain. Which, can I just ask one last question? Because this
Sure.
will probably come up since you brought up Incoterms. So what is your actual production cost? And you don't have to give me the number, but in terms of ratio, what is the production cost of the product versus the end price? And is there, let's say, is there a space in there where you can maybe come in lower and increase as you go in terms of pricing?
Actually don't have those numbers.
Okay.
I would have from Brazil, but not from the China market, with which the China factory would be the main supplier, I think.
Right.
But we have margins to negotiate prices and pallet orders and volume. That's what I know.
Okay, okay. And that would probably be ideal if students knew what is the, and let's just take it from Colombia and Brazil. What is the cost of goods sold? We call it COGS, right? What is the cost of goods sold? And then from there, we can identify what is the bilateral agreement. And then we can
Okay.
identify what is the Incoterms, which would then, once it lands in the United States, will give us the actual cost of goods sold per unit. And then
Okay.
we can work with your margin. Does that
Okay,
make
we
sense?
can. I know, yes, that makes sense.
Yeah,
We have
yeah.
the FOB price,
Yeah.
but I can find the COG.
I know,
COG.
those Incoterms, there's a lot.
Yes.
Oh, the COGS is the cost of
Cost of goods sold, yes.
Right, and that is from Colombia and Brazil, because then that will help the student understand. Okay, once we have a bilateral agreement with these two countries, where is the price point going to be more advantageous? And then
Okay.
they can then say, oh, but we have margins that we have to make, but it doesn't have to be this much. It can
Yes.
be this much, and then we can grow it by this much, right?
Yeah.
Once we're more stable in the market.
Okay.
Just talking like a professor.
Oh, wow.
You guys were amazing. Thank you
Oh,
so
thank you.
much for being a part of our X Culture family. And, you know, we are here to help you with your human resource needs. We have, again, some of the most amazing kids come through X Culture, because you have to be amazing in order to be able to do the work that you guys need to be successful in what
Yes.
we do.
Mhm.
So let us know if we can ever do that for you.
Thank you so
Okay.
much for having us. We really appreciate your time and your support, and we will do our best to help you also learn whatever you want, and let's
Thank
all
you.
grow together.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Have
Thank
a
you
good
very
time,
much.
everybody.
Thank
you
you
all,
all,
Bye-bye.
Dennis. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.